Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, yeah, the energies over the past few days have been pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Basically, there's been yet another shift. There's always shifts. Gosh. So, Starseeds, this reading is for you. There's been another shift, and this shift has really, really been interesting, to say the least. It's really affected people's behaviors. Let me just plug in my laptop. It's really affected people's behaviors. It's affected their ability to, well, I don't know if it's affected their ability to comprehend the craziness of their behavior or if they've just lost all their inhibition. Because people's behaviors have just been like really weird. Really, I must say, I'm boggled. Let's start pulling cards. How's everyone doing this morning? It's pretty early. Ooh, good morning, ATL. Yeah, it has been crazy, hasn't it, Magnetic James? Good morning. Okay, I'm gonna start pulling cards. But yeah, I've noticed a lot of people have been reporting not just sleep disturbances, but a lot of gastrointestinal weirdness, like their bowel movements, just the way they're digesting their food, loss of appetite, can't stop eating, like it just a lot of really really odd. God, I'm so sick of this card. I'm sure you guys already know what card that is. I'm sure y'all already know. Can't hide nothing from y'all. All right, let me pull a couple more cards. So yeah, I do see it also has affected my energy. It's affected my energy in such a way where I just really don't have the patience for the BS. How about you guys? Are you feeling less patient with people's ugly, rude, abrasive behaviors? Like things that I would normally be like, oh, whatever. I'm totally like, okay. You want to play? Okay. Yeah. I also notice attempts to intentionally upset others. Like the energy is pretty ugly. It's crazy. Like I'm seeing comments on other people's posts where it's just this energy behind the comment. The comment seems slightly asshole-ish, to say the least. Like maybe this person just doesn't understand how to function in healthy conversation or something. But then I feel the energy behind it, and it legit feels like intentionally antagonistic. Like, let's see how far we're going to be allowed to take this. So if you are struggling through something like that, there's a very real potential that those type of individuals don't quite know what's going on, and they've been infested by parasitic. Okay, they're being used as a Trojan. There's a lot of stuff going on right now that's leading me to the conclusion that another division has occurred. I see every aspect of life as just macro and microcosm. Like it's just scaled down versions of a larger thing. And so if you look at some of the processes of the human body of just creation itself, there's a thing called mitosis where there's a polarization, a splitting of the material, and then a pinching off. I think we're in another pinching off. We are definitely experiencing polarization. I know that. Definitely know that. I've seen it. I felt it. And so the pinching off, once it gets to a certain level of polarization where people become antagonistic again, because that's kind of how it cycles, that usually tells me we're about ready to pinch off. And when that happens, circles, you know, like your friendships, relationships, there's a very high tendency for those to change. Okay. So just be ready for that. Capricorn energy affects mitosis. Oh, is that right? I've never heard of that. Is that right? I'm definitely gonna have to look into that. Why does it affect the mitosis? Super curious to find out. I mean, do you remember? I don't mean to put you on the spot like that, but that really fascinates me because I do have. Oh, speaking of Capricorn, I do have Capricorn energy, and I'm kind of like, I'm very just cut and dry when it comes to, okay, does a split need to happen? Very, very cut and dry about that. So curious how that type of energy works. Hold on. All right. So, and also some of the other symptoms people might be experiencing is a draining of the third eye, sinus drainage, my nose. I woke up this morning. I don't even have tissue up here. I'll use my freaking, what is this? My cotton rounds to wipe my nose. Oh my God. It's not even really fully dripping. It's just this feeling of like fullness in my left nostril. TMI. You're now a part of my circle. I've lick claimed you. All right. So first card to pop up. Don't know how this fits in. But card number 13, power of attraction. Oh, shit. I get it. I get it. Wow. Wow. So this totally has to go. This totally goes in line with the whole mitosis thing, because what is mitosis but a polarization, right? This recognizing that the twins are separate beings. They are two individuals, and this recognition, this recognition. So if you just drink some of my damn detox tea. This recognition, this recognition of your separateness actually is a necessary part of the whole reunification thing. And again, I have to emphasize, the whole twin topic has nothing to do with romance. For some people, it can lead to a romantic connection, but the whole twin topic is not a romantic thing. Okay. A lot of people, when they bring up their twin, it's like, he's with his evil wife. He's with his evil girlfriend. They're just a karmic. I'm the one. I'm the top in his. Well, I mean, if you the top in his heart, why is he with someone else? I'm just saying. I mean, you guys, we gotta be really realistic about this, okay? I have a twin. I'm just like, do your thing, man. Do your thing. Have your girlfriend. Stay out of my marriage. We good. We good. There's no reason for me personally, and maybe that's a Capricorn in me, for me personally to be like, but that's mine. He's mine. No, bro, you're not mine. You're not mine. I'm not yours. We co-workers, siblings. We got to do some work. We got to do some work. You have to see it in that way, because if you don't, if you really attach yourself, really commit yourself to this notion, someone outside of me took my man, took my girl. And that's another crazy thing. Like, people will identify their twin based on what their sexual orientation is. Just like, How are you going to tell me? There might be some exceptions. I haven't met any. How are you going to tell me that everyone who is, you know, um, in a who prefers same-sex relationships has a twin that's the same sex? I mean, for all I know, I might have misjudged who my twin is, and it's actually some gal out there. I don't know. I don't know. I'm really open to suggestions on this because a lot of people, I mean, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, guys. It's a whole thing. As star seeds, this is a star seed reading. It's not a romantic reading. This is about recognizing there's a need for you to see you are separate from this other person, this other being. You are made whole, absolutely made whole. And I'm not trying to lessen people's suffering because there are quite a few people suffering because of this twin flame label. You are suffering because of your attachment to that label. That's why you're suffering. 100%. I will always be upfront and very truthful with how I'm seeing energies and situations. I would say about 95 to 99.99999%. I should do a musical of my life. But I'm saying a large portion of the twin flame suffering has to do with your decision to commit to this idea. This person is your property, belongs to you. Yeah, yeah. That whole connection is a tricky one to navigate. And I can honestly say I firmly believe I've avoided a large portion of the unnecessary hurt and suffering by recognizing the moment you walked away, peace, bitch. I'm not chasing your ass. If you are meant to be in my life in a friend capacity, because I'm taken, I'm not available. If you're meant to be in my life, it would be in a friend capacity. And we could have the most amazing friendship for the rest of our lives where I would never condemn you. I would never turn my back on you. I would be as supportive as possible. I would not interfere in any of your relationships. Like, that's how my love functions. But if that's not something that's in alignment with what you're demanding, yeah, gather your crystals, gather them up. Go down the block, the corner where you got me fucked up, and go kick rocks over there. That's fine. So you guys have to detach yourself. You absolutely have to detach yourself. A lot of people are using this as a way to hold on to toxic cycles. And as star seeds, you can't hold on to that anymore. You can't. And there's this other thought that I like to entertain. What if you're not even my twin? What if I was wrong? Like, as a human, you have this built-in potential for fallacy, where you can convince yourself of certain things that are not true. But just because you want it to be true so badly, it becomes your reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, just think on that. Just think on that. So this whole time that I've identified an individual, this whole time I've been like, you probably not even. You probably an imposter. You probably not even. You probably not even. And that's fine. That's fine. So Wings of Isis, uniting with the angelic self. Twins can't connect on a human level. That's like impossible. That's impossible. That's what human minds are wanting, a connection on a human level. It's time to raise that connection back up to an angelic. Because if you raise it back up to an angelic, then all of this BS, the funky energies and everything, it kind of gets left in the lower rungs of life. Okay. So if you're going to raise it up, you're going to raise it all the way up as high as you can take it. If it's a true twin, they have to rise up to meet you there. That's a major thing. If it is a true twin, they have to rise up to meet you there. Okay. Why would you want to meet someone at the bottom of a hole when you both know the goal of this reunification is to rise up? Of course, extend your hand down and help pull them up if they ask for it. But you have to have enough wisdom to know the difference. And if someone keeps asking you, a twin keeps asking you to meet them down there, is that a twin? The twins are not equal. It's very rare for twins to be equal. Typically what I found is that one serves as the power pack, meaning they have a lot of the brute force energy. And then the other one would serve as the navigator. They have more skill, more ability. They have a tendency to be much faster, more highly analytic than the other one. So usually the one who is the navigator will be in a higher frequency position, and the one that is the power pack is in the lower frequency. It's not to say that one is better than the other. It's to say that the one that's in a navigator is there to help guide the other one up. Okay, so just think on that. Just really think on that. But when you allow wisdom to be a large portion of your assessment of these wonky energies, you then enter this phase, the hummingbird, card number 26. Do you ever see a hummingbird sad? Do you ever see a hummingbird wasting its energy? I mean, beating its wings that quickly, it definitely doesn't have the luxury of just like nonchalant coasting along. Every time it flies for purpose. It's to gather more nutrition for itself, more sustenance. And when you do that, when you focus on feeding your own soul, then you don't have to worry about a war within you. Okay, it's when your soul is allowed to fractionate. Oh, I'm just love and light. Darkness is evil. I'm going to turn my back on darkness. I'm just going to feed the light. That was such an ugly voice. Okay, I mean, let me just blow that away from me. So yeah, if you're only going to feed one aspect of yourself, then you're totally going to have a war within you. Totally going to have a war within you. You know, do I know everything? No, I don't. Do I always behave in a way that people understand? No, I don't. Do I always behave in a way that people are accepting of? No, I don't. A lot of times people are like, what the hell is her problem? Why is she so intense? Why isn't she serious? You know, it's such a swaying type of opinion. But the fact is, no matter what's going on around me, I'm always in a hummingbird type of phase where I'm feeding myself. Okay, I'm feeding my soul. Like sometimes in order to feed your soul, you have to purge out all that gunk so that you have space for the nutrition. And me just speaking my mind, I mean, it's not always speaking your mind to be hurtful to people, to correct people, but just speaking the things that your heart feels needs to be let out. That can create more space within you to pull in more nutritious things that sustain you, connections, experiences, all of that. It's important you begin choosing these types of things for yourself, really cultivating your growth, really cultivating your environment to be one where you can grow in. Because I absolutely know how it feels to be surrounded by limitations. I absolutely was the queen of being Stepford soul. My hair was always so meticulously fixed. Makeup had to be on point all the time. It would take me like 2.5 hours to get ready. Outfit had to be just poppin', you know, label this, label that, label purse, label everything to match the label shoes, to go with a fancy car. Heaven forbid the car not be clean, you know, and I wasted so much of my energy. Wasted so much of that energy. But at that time, I was afraid I couldn't survive the opinions of others. And it took me one hell of a journey. One hell of a journey to realize the people who have these opinions of me have always had these opinions of me, regardless of my behavior. Regardless. You take a look at family. You know, there are certain members of your family that will think you're a total bitch. Oh my God, what a bitch. No matter how sweet you are, no matter what you do, the moment What your stance is does not align with what they want from you. Damn, why are you being such a bitch? Okay, you want to see a bitch? Okay. So, yeah, just take that into consideration. You know, there are other people in your family, and it could be your biological family, it could be your family of friends, it doesn't matter. But the people you consider family, there will be people who, no matter what you do, it's like you can't do wrong. You could be like, I cuss someone out. Well, what did they do to piss you off? I'm sure they were disrespectful, you know? So just know that. Be who you are. Be who you are, and you will see a lot of the weight that you've placed on your shoulders aren't even yours. Those are weights composed of other people's expectations of who they want and need you to be for them. For them. Because human psychology, most people need to have some sort of villain in their life. And if you have a villain, obviously you have to have a hero, because let's face it, creation is about polarities and our ability to do the dance between the polarities. So if you're going to have a hero, you're going to need a villain. If you're going to have a villain, you're going to need a hero. And so for some people, this is their life cycle. Okay. This is their life cycle. This is their reason for mitosis. Separate so we can have a hero and a villain, make them fight. And then once that's done, the hero has to be separated again into a hero and villain. They're going to be a villain now. You're going to find a new hero. They've served their purpose. You need a new hero. You have a villain again. So once you recognize this cycle about people, you're going to be able to empower yourself. All right. You're going to leave that storm behind, and you're going to focus on the bright sunshine and rainbows. But the bright sunshine and rainbows doesn't mean shit until you experience the storms. And maybe that's why we experience these things. Maybe that's why we need to be cognitive, fully aware of the fact that our life is full of polarity. Okay? Full of polarities. So, I mean, if you're always in sunshine, okay, let's look at the people that live in desert states. Okay, that's pretty much everywhere. Desert states, they really don't have an appreciation of their climate until they experience the polar opposite of that climate, right? People who live, say, in Arizona. I lived there for a while. It's like, fuck, it's like Satan's ball sack after a jog. It's so fucking hot. I lived there for a while, and my whole family is like, it's so hot here. It's so hot here. I was loving it because I'm always cold. 124 degrees outside. I'm like, yeah, I can wear a tank top. I can wear a tank top. But other than that, I'm always several layers deep in clothing. So when we went and moved to Colorado after our stay in Arizona, man, it snowed. And being a California family, you don't live in snow, you visit it. You don't live in snow, you visit it. So my family was like, oh my God, man, we miss the warmth of Arizona. So you don't understand what you have until you experience the polar opposite. You don't understand what you have until you experience the polar opposite. What I noticed about the whole twin thing, for any given topic, you're either exactly the same or polar opposites. Exactly the same or polar opposites. And maybe this energy is getting super wonky to shake loose this ever-growing, ever-present belief, popular belief that twins are supposed to be experiencing the same thing at the same time together for always. No. Maybe that energy is getting wonky to really make clear to both twins the gravity of that separateness, so you can understand the need for the reunification. And I will say this with zero shame or guilt. A large portion of you who are convinced that you are with your twin, that's not your twin. A large portion of you. And if you're sitting there like, no, I know it's my twin, this is probably you. This probably applies to you. Okay. I'm not going to perpetuate that disharmonic, unbalanced belief. If you're that obsessed about the person, this is probably not a twin connection. It's probably not. It's probably not. Okay. I know that's going to piss a lot of people off. Maybe you got to get pissed off enough to want to find the truth of what exactly it is you're experiencing. Okay. So just let that sink in. Card number 22, Capricorn. So card number 22, Capricorn, I use time, the corrector when our judgments err. Oh, God. And if you aren't obsessed, well, what are your other symptoms? Here we go. It's time to focus on your objectives. This is the planet of hard luck, personified by the goat that climbs the steepest cliffs to gain worldly success. It's a resourceful sign. Let's see. Oh, this is deep. Okay. So those under the influence of the Capricorn sign long for power and prestige. Now, here's the thing. If you're really fixated, really fixated on the twin, why? If they're not in your life, why are you fixated on them? Is it because you feel experiences that you know it's not yours, but for some reason you're feeling it and you're trying to identify who you're feeling? Or is it because this bitch took my twin? Power and prestige, unbalanced ego. That's not a twin. If that's involved, if that is involved in the equation, that's lust. That's coveting. That's not twin stuff. It's not. Pisces divine's like, haha. Don't laugh at them. No, but seriously, I'm really trying to help people break free of these mental and emotional shackles that have been, it's rooted in something that has aspects of truth, but it's been so distorted to create these types of circumstance. You guys know that part of the draconian agenda is to attack the family unit. And when you do things like, oh, that's your twin, they belong to you, they should be with you. Who cares if they're married? Soul doesn't care about marriage. Oh, shit. That's a potent ass way to get the masses to attack their own units. Damn. And why are family units being attacked? Because it creates instability within the home, which then is a very subtle, very low-key, veiled attempt to attack the child. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. This is why I'm like, I don't know about this twin stuff. You know, it's a very, very disgusting and very veiled type of attack on the new children. Because even if you're the type of couple that hides all of your problems from your children, new children are very psychic, very telepathic. They know what's going on. You're not hiding shit from them. They can comprehend from birth. They can comprehend at a level you would not believe. So that's what's going on. That's what's going on. Imagine how they're going to feel. Imagine the kind of emotional trauma that they feel. Being in utero, still being in their mother's womb and hearing fighting, hearing, and feeling their mother's feelings about this man is cheating on me. And you know what I'm saying? All of this stuff. As adults, we basically the delivery system for the poison they're trying to inject into the lives of these new children who are our saviors, okay? For people who want to say like, I'm here to heal the planet. No, you're not. You're here to heal yourself, okay? The new children, the young ones, the ones of the highest frequency are the ones who are here to heal the planet. And they're healing the planet by existing. Get off your Messiah train. You're not here to heal the planet. You're not here to heal anyone else. That's part of the wonky energy that's going around. Okay. A lot of this stuff is just really, really wonky ass energy. So with a Capricorn, let's see. Capricorns are interested in what's solid, what can be seen, touched, or bought. Capricorns utilize their energies towards some concrete purpose rather than daydreams and the imagination. And maybe this is why I don't have as much of that unnecessary struggle with the whole twin thing, because that Cap energy is so potent in me that I'm just like, look, no, this is something intangible. You know, this whole concept is something that I can't even wrap my mind around as a human being. Okay. Yeah, I can read that. That's my first language. I can read that. Okay. Just, anyways, if your question is to do with romance or relationships, these may take on more serious tones. Matters should grow deeper and more committed. Okay. If it's not growing deeper and more committed, then you have to question that. Is there an increasing connection, connectivity, energetically speaking? If not, then you're being fed on. Plain and simple. You're being fed on. That is a false connection. That is probably a Trojan, and they've entered your field and they're feeding on you. Okay. It's up to you if you want to continue that and believe that I'm full of shit, which is fine with me. Damn. Oh, shit. Woo! This is a doozy. Okay. Oh my. All right, we'll just go to this, okay? Card number 22, she feels, she knows. For those that are so 100% convinced that, you know, because they want to bang, bang boogies to up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat with someone else who's not available. Yeah, when you're that convinced that someone who is not willing to invest in you is yours, this is what happens. You beat yourself up, okay? You feel like you know, but do you really know? No, what you feel is lust. And this is not going to apply to everyone, okay? If what you feel is lust, and lust is what you know, then be prepared for quite a bit, okay? You have to, card number 18, be a little bit more Virgo and analyze. Create some order with your thoughts. Allow yourself to really analyze where these thoughts are rooted. Do not anticipate trouble or worry about what may never happen. Keep in the sunlight. Wow. Do not anticipate trouble. But why did I read that as participate in trouble? What the fudge? Do not participate in trouble. That's deep. Worry and organization are the key traits of this sign. They're picky and exacting. They tend to be critical, but usually this criticism is applied to themselves. They're conscientious and highly intelligent. Virgo natives prefer to step back and analyze before moving ahead. There you go. You have to take a step back, a huge step bag. What the hell does that mean? Do not anticipate trouble or worry about what may never happen. So why are you anticipating the day their relationship ends, your twin, and their relationship ends, and you know, because you're the top dog and the significant other is going to go after you. Yeah, no, keep in your sunlight, meaning keeping the light of your truth. In order for a plant to grow, it not only needs water, it also needs light. So if you overwater a plant and don't give it any sunlight, that plant begins to die, begins to rot. It gets sick, it gets fungus, decay. And so maybe this is a call for people to recognize you are that plant. You have been crying and sitting in the darkness, in the shade for so long that you've grown a fungus. And it's time for you to stop crying about this, because you're no longer crying to release. You're crying because you're having a tantrum that you're not getting what you want. And of course, this doesn't apply to everyone, but for those that this does apply to, you definitely, you got a fungal bottom. Your ass got fungus. You got fungus. So it's time for you to begin standing in the light of your own truth. Whatever is yours can never truly be taken from you. Whatever is meant to be in your life will always be a part of your life when it's time for it to be a part of your life. Stop trying to control so much the path of other people. That's what's creating the mental fungus. Okay? So for some, yeah, it is your twin. You're trying to, you know, get through things within your own mind, come to terms with what's going on. And you just need time to process all of this. For others, you just trying, you fucking trifling, you know? You trying to take ownership of someone else's relationship. You want to be that person that they're with. You're playing yourself, because if they really wanted to be with you, there is nothing that will stop them from being with you. Sometimes they need a little bit of time to figure out their circumstance, to tie up loose ends, to end that thing so it doesn't follow when they come back. But to base your entire existence on the premise that they're going to come back, the relationship's going to end, they're going to come back, they're going to be mine, we're going to be together, we're going to be in union. Union has nothing to do with boom boom time. Union has nothing to do with romance. Union is so far beyond the human concept of actual love, because human concept of love and intimacy is sex, fornication. That's no. Mm-mm. This is a reunification on an energetic level. And for some, that energetic level brings to fruition an actual romantic relationship. Not for all. It's not for all. So with a Virgo card, this card signifies a good time to get rid of your clutter. Living a cleaner life, focusing on details and doing what needs to be done are now your focus. Other concerns would be your daily routine, 9 to 5 responsibilities and mundane goings on that may need your attention. Getting organized will enable you to get where you're going. This card also suggests you may need to be more reliable in your approach. Problems don't go away. You must work and they must be addressed. Okay? This issue is not going to go away. It's not going to go away until you face it head on and are like, okay, you know what? I'm not a trifling person. I think I may have misunderstood what this is. I'm going to take a step back. That person is not even interested in being an active part of my life. I'm going to take a step back from that. I'm not going to keep checking what they're posting. I'm not going to keep checking what their significant other is posting. I'm going to focus on me right now. You know, my health is not that great. I have quite a bit of debt that I've accumulated as I tried to cope with my failed expectations of this connection. Let me get myself straight real quick. You know, if that happens to come back around, I'm open to revisiting it and speaking with them and seeing what exactly this connection is. But first, I got to try and make sure all my parts are connected, that myself and my soul are connected. And I guarantee you this, okay? One of the most surefire ways to know if someone actually is your twin is if you focusing on yourself and your journey, and you can still feel what they're experiencing, and you know in your head, you know, this energy is coming from them. This is coming from them. You know what? I'm gonna still just go do your thing. I'm focusing on me. We can go ahead and revisit this when you are in a more balanced state of mind, when you're in a more balanced life situation. That's a very healthy way to approach this whole thing. Okay. That is a very, very, very healthy way where you're still open to exploring what this connection could possibly mean, but you're not chomping at the bit to be like, this is my twin, he's mine, he's mine. No, you're obsessed. That's an obsession. That's an addiction. That's not a twin. It's not a twin. It's just not. And it's time for us to really see with clarity. Card number 6, seeing with clarity. Look at that Michael energy around her eyes. When you're able to see with clarity how people are brought to you to show you something, to teach you something, there's a beauty in that. There's definitely a beauty in that. Okay. So when you open yourself to this potential that you could have made a mistake in the identification of the individual, or the labeling of that individual. 88% at 8:44 with 84 watchers and 17 thumbs. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? I gotta screenshot this. Love it. So all of these numbers, 8 being the number of reunification. It could mean reunification of self and soul, reunification of your internal masculine and feminine, reunification of your light and your dark shadows. It could also mean reunification of the twin consciousness. So all of these 8s across the board. Maybe it's time for you to evaluate how you've been feeding toxicity. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to just kind of chew the idea of maybe I was wrong. Maybe that isn't my twin. Maybe I haven't found the right one yet. And that's okay. That's okay, because maybe I'm not yet ready. Because that twin connection is going to be the most 89% at 8:45 mirrors. That twin connection is going to be the most challenging interaction you will have, because they will mirror so beautifully all the aspects of yourself that you're not willing to look at, that you are not willing to look at. Yep. I'm telling you. This is not what I'm recognizing about the whole pain and struggle of twin stuff. It's not that a pain that comes from being rejected romantically. It's a pain seeing aspects of yourself and experiencing what it feels like to be on the receiving end of those little quirks. You know what I mean? It's like an internal destruction. It's not this like, oh my God, this is the love of my life. No, it's not that. It's not that. And if that's what your pain is, that's probably not a twin. That's probably not. But if your thing is, I can't believe this person does these things, and this is probably what people might feel when I do these things. That might be. Why is everyone obsessed with twins? Because it's a new way to justify lust, ownership, unhealthy connections. It's a new excuse. That's why. People have so identified with wounds. It's become their identity. And when they have new labels, fresh labels, to apply on that wound as a bandage to further, that keeping that wound nice and sariwa. And that's how mom uses it. You're keeping it sariwa fresh, Okay, so here's the thing. Card number 32, trust your own understanding. This is about seeing life through the eyes of wisdom, allowing your transformation. All right. This is about allowing yourself to experience all of your phases, the waxing and the waning. That's all you. If you think that a twin connection, because you're a starseed, you have to have the twin there, that's all some new age shit, you guys. Let me. I just needed to swish some of that saltiness out. Okay. If you think that twin connection is always going to be a positive one, where you guys are always on the same page, reading the same words, and you're like the power couple, the spiritual Beyonce and Jay-Z. Jay-Z's been cheating on Beyonce. So I heard. So you want to be spiritual Beyonce and Jay-Z. I mean, you go right ahead. But that's what that is, I'm not celebrating the details of their marriage. I'm just saying the gatherer, maybe you got to gather your crystals, take it down the block and start kicking some rocks. But the gatherer, you have to really put some effort and thought into gathering around you the things that you need, the support, the love. You can't put all of that on an individual. And that's another thing that starseeds are struggling with. And this goes beyond the whole twin thing. I'm over the twin topic. I've been over the twin topic since the first freaking card. But starseeds are placing on the shoulders of other galactic beings their growth. Galactic beings are not responsible for your growth. I don't care if they're your galactic mother, father, sibling, cousin, aunt, uncle, guardian guy. No, you are responsible for your growth. They are there as your cheerleaders. Hoorah, hoorah, keep going, don't give up. That's all they're there for. They're not there to stop events of your life from happening. Okay? It's not their job to make you happy. It's not a twin's job to make you happy, to complete you. If you ain't complete on your own, it's a very selfish thing to try and enter into a twin union. We're going to keep it real today. That is one of the most selfish, hurtful things you can do. When you are not holding yourself in that moment, to be putting that on a twin, that is the most selfish thing you could do. Work on yourself first. Work on yourself, okay? So I think with this topic, proper burial for freedom, sacrifice to Osiris, Lord of the Dead. Okay? You need to properly bury this already. This concept that continues to feed the wonky energies. Excuse me. You need to bury that. You need to bury this concept that there is someone outside of you that's going to fix what's inside of you. Bury that. Bury the notion that you're not complete until you reconnect with that twin. until you are able to hear your ascension guides and whatever else. You have to bury that proper burial. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, U, V. Oh, yeah, it's P. Okay. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. Here it is. In order for life to flow and express itself, that which belongs to the world of death must be released. There is nothing to be gained and everything to be lost by trying to hold on to that which no longer serves us, which is better left to die, though it takes great spiritual courage and trust to allow this to happen. Osiris, Lord of the Dead, guides you now to release that which no longer needs to be a part of your life so that you may be free. I mean, this is the card. I'm just saying. There you go. Stick it on the chest. Stick it. Stay with your chest. Stay with your chest. I'm just saying. That's the card of the heart right there. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Da 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 da. Oh shit. This is the heart of it. This is why the wonky message. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. Okay. Yes. So, shit. Okay. Interesting. So card number 48. Card number 48. Yod, destiny. So a lot of people, but it's our destiny. But it's our destiny. We're supposed to be together. It's our destiny. We came into this life and then you get all these readings and you have these people who are perpetuating this hamster wheel turning, grinding you down. Yes, that's your twin. Oh, yes, you're supposed to be together. Oh, yes, the significant other is evil. Okay. Well, if that's what he picked, if that's what she picked, then they're a perfect match. If they can't appreciate you, let them be evil together without you there. Bury that shit. Bury it. Stop using the whole destiny card as a reason to justify the fixation on something outside of you, which serves as a distraction from working on the things within you, because that's a potential gateway. Boom. Yes. Potential gateway for massive fluffery. You are not an island unto yourself. Okay. You're letting that in. If you are obsessed with the other person, obsessed about finding the details of their life, obsessed about this, obsessed about that, you're letting that in. It doesn't matter if they're your twin or not. So long as you keep tapping into it, you're letting it in. And it's a potential gateway. Okay? If you don't understand what that means, it means poltergeist. No, it doesn't for some. It means you're opening a door for dark things to enter. Dark thoughts, dark circumstance, negativity, energetic drain, loss of your abundance, loss of your health, everything. Loss of friendships. Because, I mean, let me just be the voice for some of your friends. If you're constantly talking about this individual and your friends all know she don't want anything to do with you, they're in a relationship and you're convincing yourself of this and you keep bringing it to your friends, that toxicity, they don't want to hear it. They don't. If you notice, they start to get quiet, like, oh girl, yeah, no, they don't want to hear it. You're about to lose that friendship. So not only are you out of this twin flame romantic ultimate boom boom session, you're also about to be out of a friendship, one that's tolerated all this toxicity for quite some time. So Stop using the destiny excuse, because that's going to be used as a gateway to enter you. Okay? That's going to be used as a gateway to enter you. That's what this funky, wonky energy is. The people who are participating in this distraction, I'm not saying it's your fault, but I am saying your participation in this distraction, the disharmonic feelings that are rising, that are intensifying within you, it's feeding whatever is coming. I don't like saying that. What's coming? I don't know if you guys can hear it. There's a train. A train. I can hear the train. Shit. I can hear the train on the tracks. Someone's on the tracks. So, okay, here's what's going on. Something's coming, and I'm like, I don't like that. Why did I say that? I don't like that. And then I heard the train, the horn on the train. Typically, what happens, the reason you hear a train blowing its horn is because someone or something is on the railroad tracks, and they can see for like a mile or two ahead, something like that. And if they see something on the tracks, they keep honking their horn, trying to get the person's attention, or scare the animal off so they don't get slammed into by the train, a speeding train. Something is coming. You're not stopping this from happening. And unless you get off the track, you're going to get fucked up by a train. And now the train is gone. No more honking. That's some crazy shit. No more honking. Ah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. I want to know what the hell that's about. What train? Something is about to slam into your guys' path. Oh shit. It's for the people who are still, they're hearing all of this that I'm saying, they're seeing the cards, they're seeing the synchronicity, and they're still like, no, this is a real twin. This is a real twin. Okay, you're hearing the train honking. Ah, ah. No, this is real. The train is not real. Okay. Okay. And I hear honking again. That message is for you guys. That honking is not an actual train outside. I hear it inside my head. Yeah. Oh, okay. So, if a train hits you, you're not surviving that, right? It's going to be a burial. It's going to be a burial of that aspect of you that refuses to move forward, that continues to hold on to this fictitious belief. I want some clarity. Ooh, okay. This is about the future, opportunities ahead, coming events, plans that may fail. Train's coming. Now there's a real train outside. That's crazy. I never hear trains outside. That is crazy. Okay. Anxiety. Oh no. Um, This is about success, gain, overwhelming odds surmounted, advantage. Maybe some of you are hearing me. Maybe some of you whose higher self brought you onto this live to hear this, to give you the confirmation because you've been teetering on the edge of, is this a real connection or did I just mistake it? Maybe you are hearing me and you're getting off that train track, which is good, which is good. And then we have, but I mean, if you have to be hit by the train for you to let that go so that you can free yourself to move forward with your journey, you know, I'll send flowers. I'll send energetic flowers. Card number 2, High Priestess. Wisdom, sound judgment, serenity, objectivity, intuition, self-reliance, platonic relationships. Boom! Poseidon! Yeah, there you go. So that's confirmation for me that this is for many, it's needing to be let go of. Okay? It's needing to be let go of. So card number 1, after the storm. After the storm of the realization that this was a false connection, you have your integrity, your divinity, your wisdom, your dignity intact. You're bringing that with you. And behind you is a nice, loving, protective bubble of that Christos energy. For some of us, we had to experience this false twin fluffery specifically to have this moment after the storm. 99% at 9:03. 99903. So yeah, this is a part of your growth. Sometimes people are brought to us and we experience this type of circumstance to trigger a type of growth that prepares us for the true twin to arrive. Okay. And again, that true twin even still might not be something romantic. All right. We have to release the need for the romance aspect of it. If you really think about it, if you let go of that romance aspect and you begin a bond with a person who is your actual true twin flame connection, your purpose as a starseed here in this life becomes elevated, because the level of learning and growth that can occur when you have a divine mirror there helping you to see how your growth is progressing, it's profound. It's definitely profound. So just release the need for the whole romance thing for a little bit, you know? Stay true and be in your power, Osiris and Isis, Lord and Lady of Divine Authority. Stay true to yourself. Be in your power, okay? Does a queen need to be all up in the king? No. She has her own role to play. Does the king need to be all like in the queen's business? No. The king has his role to play. Thank you, Jennifer Fox. And so you have to recognize this. You each have your own component that you're working with, that you're trying to build. So what you have with each other is an alliance, a partnership, an equal partnership where you're standing side by side, shoulder to shoulder, staying in your own power, recognizing that when you are working together, notice how this has nothing to do with sex and romance. When you are working together, the amount of potency in your power increases. So I'm told to kind of give the analogy using alcohol. You're 100% on your own, right? And people are like, okay, 100 proof. Yeah, 100 proof. But you recognize that 200 proof is more potent than 100 proof. The potency of that alcohol has greatly increased at 200 proof. 100 proof is, I believe, 50% volume. So yeah, that twin and you are supposed to be 200 proof. You have your own power. You have your own fire. But when you combine the two fires, it becomes a huge flame. And that's what the reunification is about. Allowing the two fires to become a huge bonfire to light the way for the people who have lost their way on their path, to help them find their path back to themselves. And that's what the flame of your twin is supposed to do. Help you find your path back to yourself, not your path that leads to destruction, toxicity, someone else. It's supposed to lead you back to yourself. So this card, I don't know what it means. But I do know there's a big ass 8 on him. Card number 7. All right. The Time Master. Time is a construct of the human mind through which life events are seen to flow in a straight line, from past to future. This, however, is an illusion. Time moves in patterns, fractals, sometimes turning like a wheel and others moving straight as an arrow. More like a Fibonacci sequence. Humans see time like a ticking clock, and this image reminds us that there's only so much of it to spend in a life. Like a kind of currency. At any given moment, you can see time in all its infinite potential, at once vast and all-encompassing, then shrunken and finite. It all depends on perspective. Will you break free of time-limited cause and effect thinking by moving beyond the linear illusion and welcoming the cyclical quality of time? So this lesson is going to circle back round. Okay, it's going to circle back around. And the reason I bring up the whole Fibonacci sequence is that very closely illustrates the trajectory of an ascending soul. It's a Fibonacci sequence in that it circles back around tighter and tighter into itself as it ascends, and the reflection descends, goes down deeper into the depths of you, while the other aspect rises up higher to reconnect with your greatness. So you have to really, really focus on yourself at this point. All the treasure magically reveals itself when you remain relaxed and present to what's directly in front of you and nothing else. Then you realize you have all the time in the world. You will never run out of it. So reconnection is imminent, right? Reunification is imminent. Maybe we have to release our preconceived notion of what it is we're reconnecting with. Maybe we're reconnecting with our present time, right here, right now, what's in front of you. And if this other person is not in front of you, then maybe they are not a part of this time. And you have to be okay with that. Because your continued longing for some far off time in the future of some perception that you're going to be romantic with this person, yeah, that's using up all your present moment. That's using it all up, and that's not going to serve you. Can I have one final message? What card? Let's see. One final message, please. All right. Oh, all right. Ingenuity, growth, handiwork, progress, successful dealings. That's beautiful. So, what she has in her hand, a nun begs for alms. In Buddhism, the fly whisk symbolizes the command not to kill, as one brushes away flies rather than killing them. So, that right there is to brush away the flies, is to remind you not to kill. I think what your higher selves are saying, you don't have to stay on that railroad track and kill that part of yourself that's refusing to let go. Instead, recognize the part of yourself that's refusing to let go is behaving in that manner because it's gone without love from you for so long that it's grasping at straws, grasping at anything it could possibly hold on to. And that behavior will stop once you grab that portion of yourself and embrace it back into reunification with you. This is a request for your higher self, from your higher self, for you to choose the highest level of compassion as you walk your path. Not compassion for others, because that's one of the greatest distortions that's being peddled in this new age bullshit. It's bullshit, okay? That's my personal belief. It's bullshit. Um, where because you're evolved, you have to have a compassion for everyone but you. No, no. When you have compassion for yourself and you freely allow others to witness this compassion and love for self, it teaches them the parameters with which they can, interact with you. It teaches them that they too can give themselves permission to exist in the same way. They can free themselves of the limitations of what society has told them is appropriate. And it's sad, but a lot of people, because of programming from childhood, they need others, someone outside of them, to tell them what is appropriate and what isn't, what will make you happy and what won't. And it's very sad because no one should be told what to do. But until they recognize, until they reclaim their sovereignty, until they take back the authority that is rightfully theirs over their own life, they need people like you to see you living in your authenticity, to see you minimally affected by the wonky energies, recognizing that the storm around you cannot bother you. You are safely encased in your peace, in your stillness. And the world is free to operate the way it operates, but it will not change you. It will not derail you. You will continue to choose to exist in a state that is centered in self-compassion, self-love, in gentleness and grace. It's beautiful. Ace of Swords. Great determination, initiative, strength, activity, triumph, prosperity, deep emotions. They say still waters run deep, right? If you dive deep into the darkest, deepest depths of your heart's oceans, you will find a stillness that is so profound, so all-encompassing, that all your worries in this life will seem frivolous and insignificant. The problem is that our fear is so great. Our fear of the unknown is so great that it cripples us. Well, here's the thing. Yes, unknowns are scary, right? Because you don't know what's there. You don't know what you're going to find. But at the same time, if everything that you do know has caused you nothing but suffering and pain, feelings of rejection, feelings of abandonment, feelings of being misunderstood, what is so dangerous about the unknown? If you're suffering so greatly already with what you do know, isn't there a part of you that can convince the rest of you? Let's explore that section because something not as painful might be there. Something less scary might be there. I already know what this part is. I already know what this area of my life and my existence is. It's full of hurt and loneliness and all of these things that make me not want to be here. So why don't I just go there and just check it out for a little bit, see what that's about. So next. Nine of Staves, expectation of difficulties and changes, a pause in a current struggle. So maybe it's time for you to pause on what it is you're so fixated on. A pause in feeding that wonky energy, a pause in all the deception that you've been allowing yourself to eat. You have been feeding yourself the deception, because this card also has to do with deception. So allow yourself to finally begin eating from a plate of truth. Allow yourself. Some people have this mindset that they'd rather starve than try something new. They'd rather starve. That's fine. But you're the one that's going to be starving. And maybe it's that mindset that has caused people to be so ravenous for some piece of divinity that they're willing to affix a label on another individual who's not worthy of that label. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's the root causation of your suffering. Maybe that's the root causation of your decision to fully commit to this label that you're affixing on someone else. What I found, as much as I develop, every time I level up in my level of consciousness, I recognize the things that I thought would happen, the things that I thought to be true, these things that I believe to be absolutes. I was so wrong. I was so wrong. I was absolutely wrong. And my suffering came from my attachment, my commitment to that belief. And I haven't struggled, suffered as much since I've chosen to be like, well, that's a potentiality. We'll see. Soul will let me see. It's just a potentiality. I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. And because I'm detached from any given outcome, it's really freed me to be fully present in the moment, to allow myself to have a very organic human experience, to allow these wonky energies to be recognized for what they are. Fuel for my rise. Okay? Yeah, I'm not going to hold myself to some unrealistic ideal of how I should behave, the image I'm supposed to cultivate. And, even if you're not in the public eye, even if you don't do live streams, many of us suffer from this struggle, this want and need to cultivate a specific type of appearance, branding yourself. Think on that. When you brand yourself, it has several implications. You're creating a brand, you're selling yourself, okay? That means you have determined a set value for you. There is this story that goes around sometimes. It's told by, I think, some Mongolian guy, where a kid is given a rock. He doesn't know what the rock is, and his dad tells him to go to a marketplace. And when someone asks you how much it is, you just say 3. So he goes to a marketplace where, the people want cheap things. And so like, oh, 3 cents. And, the kid doesn't answer. And the dad tells him to go to a different type of marketplace. And when someone asks you, you just say 3. And people is like, oh, $3. And then the dad instructs him to go to another marketplace where the vision and the expectation is much higher. And so when they ask him what's the cost of the stone, he says 3, and they're like, oh, 300. So people have this concept that they're, branding themselves, creating an image, and they don't even really know what that 3 value is. They don't understand that if your mindset is still very small and you value yourself at a 3, then that 3 means 3 cents. And you're limiting yourself because there's someone who might understand that rock is a diamond in the rough. You, that rock, is a diamond in the rough. And when you say 3 to them, that's 300. So you're selling yourself short. The other implication of that whole branding scenario is you're not a cow. You're not chattel. You're not livestock. What do they do to livestock? They brand them. They burn into their flesh a symbol of ownership. So when you try and brand yourself, when you try and create this public image of who you want to be seen as, that's branding yourself. That's spiritually branding you. You are now allowing this matrix of distortion, this antichrist matrix, because it's the antithesis of the Christos, the Christ consciousness. You're branding yourself as a cow, as the livestock, as commodity of this matrix. So stop trying to brand yourself. Stop trying to affix labels on things that are so profound. Not one label could ever be fully enough. I mean, think of it. Think of it. Okay. In order for your body to be powered, your soul is basically a small, tiny shard of a fractal of that God essence, okay? Whether you're religious or not, it doesn't matter. That God, prime creator, whatever you want to call it, source, we are a fractal of that. That is the energy. It's like an atomic grain. That is the energy that powers all of our metabolic processes within the body. So if you have a shard of God within you, can you define God? Because the moment you begin defining God, it ceases to be the God essence that it truly is, which is undefinable. So the moment you start affixing labels on yourself, you have diminished that God seed within you. Emmy, what are you? The only thing I identify with at this moment is stay-at-home mom, because that's the most profound honor I could ever be given in this life. Are you a starseed? Are you a Blu-ray? Are you, you could use those terms to describe the anomalies you will find in my morphogenetic coding. But who am I? I am a shard of the everything and the nothing and the spaces in between where I exist currently. The spaces in between, the gray zone that provides the greatest exposure to both light and dark in varying degrees is beautiful. I have no limits except the limits that I believe in. Because the moment you begin to believe in something, that's the moment it becomes a tangible truth for you personally. It becomes something that creates a wall, a boundary. And if you look at how many of us function, many of us, the mental shackles of that mental wall is so profound, many of us will never consider crossing it. Mm-mm. But when you experience being in the presence of someone who has somehow managed to release that shackle, that mental and emotional shackle, and you see them crossing lines and you're like, oh my God, no. You know, it's like when you're a kid and you're playing lava, the carpet is the lava. And I remember doing this with my siblings and my cousins. It drove our grandma nuts. We would jump from couch to couch because the carpet is lava. And because I have a short attention span, I would get bored with it faster than everyone. And I would just walk on the carpet and everyone would scream, no! I'm like, stop. Just stop. And then I would go and do something else. And they're like, she's dead. Yeah, whatever. Stop yelling at me. So just think of that, okay? Think of that and how it applies to your life. How many limitations have you empowered? Have you brought to fruition simply by your belief? The moment you stop believing those things, they no longer become tangible things. They're just a concept that is like a wisp of smoke in a huge room with a fan on. It just dissipates just like that. And then your limits are gone. Okay. So don't let this wonky energy get you to fixate on specific aspects of your life. You have to be open to the potentiality that you've misunderstood, mislabeled, that you've participated in things that aren't actually in alignment with your best interest. And that's okay. Forgive yourself. Create an alliance with yourself. Okay. That's the most powerful alliance you can have, an alliance between self and soul, because those two, they're always working for the same thing, the greatest, most elevated potentiality being achieved. Now, when you start aligning yourself, aligning yourself with other people, you don't know what their intention is. You don't know what their end goal is. I guarantee, for the most part, what other people's intentions are is for their benefit, not for yours. Does that make them selfish? No, it makes them very real, because you shouldn't be their priority. You're not their obligation. And that's just a fact. I don't care who they are to you. I don't care if they are your parent, they are your child, they are your sibling, they are your twin, they are your soulmate. No, the only one that's obligated to take care of you is you. After a certain age, you need to begin taking care of yourself. And whatever's happened up till that point, that's not going to be an excuse for you to continue to cripple yourself. You have to take accountability for the decisions you make once you take ownership of your life. And the things that you experience in childhood, those can no longer be used as an excuse why you're failing yourself. Everybody has a sob story. That sounds real harsh, but it is such a harsh, real, and raw truth. Every single one of us has a sob story. I don't care how rich you were when you were growing up. I don't care how perfectly amazing your family looked from the outside. Let's say this real quick, okay? Every family has dysfunction. Some families are just better at hiding that dysfunction than others. So if you think you're going to use as an excuse, well, I had a dysfunctional childhood and you had, a silver spoon and you drove a Mercedes. No, don't fool yourself. Don't fool yourself. Everybody has a sob story. But that's good though, because it's that sob story that produces the tears that end up watering the seed that you are. All you have to do now is stand in the light of your own truth, and then you grow. So this wonky energy is a call for you to begin allowing yourself to stand in the light of your own truth. Embrace your authenticity. You don't need people to understand you. You don't need people to accept you. Those are nice, cute things, but you don't need that to exist in your authenticity. And the ones who don't understand you, if they really wanted to understand you, they would take the time to observe and understand. You won't need to explain yourself. And the ones who need you to explain yourself, I will tell you this, they're not looking to understand you. They're looking for a justification of their condemnation of you, their preconceived notion of why you deserve to be condemned. And they want you to give them a way to validate that desire to condemn you. And don't waste your time. Jesus didn't even give people the nails they used to crucify him. I'm sorry, if you're going to crucify me, you're going to have to provide your own nails. I'm not going to provide that for you. Okay? You need to tell people that with your energy, because it sounds kind of crazy and morbid if you say that out loud. Just live it. Just live it. So, yeah, it is big. It's absolutely big. But we're all big. We're all a big deal. And that's the thing. We're all a big deal. We're all such a huge deal. Every single one of us matters. And if you think you don't matter, if you think your journey is just, no, that's a part of your sob story. That's a part of your sob story. So you guys, thank you for sharing this space with me. If you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Join me every single time I'm live. Yeah, I'm Mexican, an Asian Mexican. Why? Because my last name's Garcia. Orale pues. Get the fuck out of here. Holmes. All right, guys, let me stop my naughtiness. Bye, everyone. First, let me ban you. Bye, everyone.